We got audio. Now we got audio. We got audio, and we're live. I'm gonna put this in my pocket. Okay. I gotta get my. I got walking money. I got these quarters that I carry with me, and that's how I count my laps. Okay. And we're outside. The thing is that I can't see the screen, so I'm just going to hope that everything stays in shape and that we stay live. But as you can see, my yard is getting in bad shape because I was in bad shape, but right now my leg feels great. And I've got to clean the pool. You can probably see that green stuff. So I get in and I got this really long brush that I clean this with. So I've got a lot of little repairs to make on my fence, and some of these weeds will be cut down, and you can see my hot tub is got to be all worked on and cleaned up, and even my grill has to be cleaned up. A lot of work. Just my feet. You see my big old feet there? And it's a lot of work, but it's only a lot of work when you're sick. This work here for a healthy person is nothing. You could have all this done in a half hour. So it's not bad at all. Like I said, that was one time around, and my leg is doing fine. Doesn't hurt at all. The only thing that hurts is my eyes when I see all of this stuff that I neglected because I wasn't well. Not lazy, I just wasn't well. So I'm on my second lap, and then what I do, let me show you my little Roomba. That's Roomba. I call that little thing Roomba. And what Roomba does is it cleans the bottom of the pool automatically. Drives around the pool, picks up the leaves and all that stuff. But you still have work to do. You can see back in there all the work I've got to do there. But I feel great. This is really nice to feel good like this again. The operation was a success, and I got to drop another quarter in my pocket. Every time I pass a certain area, I drop a quarter in my pocket. And I'm carrying my laptop around, and hopefully we're still connected. If not, I've been talking to myself this amount of time for nothing. So we're going around like this. I hope I have all the buttons pushed right, because like I said, I can't see the screen. So we're going around like this, and my leg is working great. Doesn't hurt. Feels a little tight right now around my knee, the back side of my knee. And I just got to make sure I don't fall in the pool. That won't work. And I'd say that water in that pool is probably 80 degrees. Very nice out, a little humid. Drop another quarter in my pocket. And I just keep wandering around the pool until I do all of my laps. And my right leg is feeling a little stiff up around my thigh. You know, from trying to compensate for the left leg. But I mean, I feel great. And it feels good to feel good again. This all started on December 9th, 2013, and today is the 21st of September, 2014. We talked with my physical therapist yesterday, and she will be coming in on Tuesday to have a look at these new incisions, see how I'm doing, and see if I even need any physical therapy. Some people do, some people don't, because some people either don't have, a way to exercise. Maybe they live in an apartment, or sometimes, it's just too hard for them. You're older, your get up and go has got up and gone, and you just can't do it. So you need a motivator, somebody who's gonna, kind of like a trainer, get you going, get you up off the couch. And you've got to move around. You can't just sit there and get better, you get worse. So I could feel the muscles building up in my right leg, you know, for those people who walk for exercise or run. You'll start to feel, I feel it in my upper right thigh. I can feel them muscles, you know, going to work, growing, trying to get back their body. have a reason to carry something around. So I feel good, no pain. I have strength. I'm not breathing hard, you know. It feels pretty good. Got to drop another quarter in. And I'll take a look at this. Like I said, right now I can't see anything because of the sun. You can't see what's on the screen. The screen just looks black. So I hope that, I can see it a little bit there. Yeah, I can see the pool. I hope that I have the camera even pointed the right way. I really can't even tell. But I can see, I've seen a little glimpse of the screen there. Oh, there we go, right there. I can see it now. But by the time I walk this many times around, each time I go around is about 128 feet. So if I do this 7 or 8 times, you can kind of get an idea how far I've walked. Now, if I did this 7 times and I do it 5 times a day, I walk about a half a mile. That's what it is. So along with getting exercise, you got to do the math. And then, like I said, I could kind of feel it in my upper right leg, because it's, you know, it still thinks that it has to do everything because it used to. And I could probably walk around 10 times now. But the thing is that you don't, just because you can do it, you don't want to do it. It's not about, you know, seeing how much you can do. It's about doing something. And there's one more quarter. Anita was ready to bring me in, make sure that I don't overdo it. But I've got one more quarter, and then I'm coming in. And that's the end of that, which was great. So I took you and kind of showed you the terrible shape my yard. It's not terrible. I'll have this cleaned up in no time. Tomorrow when Nina goes to work, I'll be out in the yard. Instead of walking around the pool, I'll fire up the weed eater, and I'll get to work. Scrub the pool, take care of some of these weeds. And there's Anita letting me in. Okay, thank you. And okay, we are back inside, and I will put my walking money where I'm ready for the next time. I'm a little sweaty, not much. Let me switch back to the desktop presenter, and I can head back in. Okay, we're back onto the desktop presenter. Okay, thank you. And that was our little walk around the swimming pool, and I hope that I was able to get it all. Now the live camera is off, and the only thing that's on is the desktop presenter. You can't see anything that is going on in the house. And that's what's cool about all these features that Producer and Procaster has. They have all the tools that an amateur would need, and even a professional would need. And like I said, they can get pretty expensive. So we're back into my little desk here. I have my desk in the bedroom, and I'm able to look out over the front yard. And I feel fine. I'm telling you, I feel fine. I'll plug this in like this. And I'll get me some power. I'm hooking the monitors back up. So the screen may have jumped. Got the power back up. And everything is coming back on. And I had all the right buttons pushed. So that all worked out pretty good. So far, so good. Waiting for everything to connect back up. And let's see if it's going to do it. And we now have all of that back up. Let me see if I can get us back up to some of this other stuff. Put this back up here. I hope I still have audio or I'm talking to myself. Okay, that's there. Let's get back up to the city. Okay, we're back into the city again. And let's adjust some cameras here. The desktop presenter has to be adjusted. And I'll switch over again. I may have to close this desktop presenter and open it again, so we may lose a little bit of connection. We'll see. Looks like we're still on the internet. And that felt great. It feels good to have my heart pumping like that. Feels good not to have first of all, I couldn't go 7 laps with the way that my leg was. I couldn't do 7, even no matter if I wanted to or not. And when I would come in, I would really be in a lot of pain. So before I would leave, the only medication that I had was Tylenol. So I would take 1 Tylenol before I even left on my little walk, and I'd make it around 5 times, and I would do that 5 times a day, so I'd have 25 laps in times 128. And that's how I would do it. That's how I would keep myself, in reasonable shape without hurting myself, without, overdoing it. Because, like I said, you might think, especially if you're young, that, I feel good so I could do this. You end up hurting yourself more than you end up helping yourself. So when the doctor says do this and do that, you just do it. If he says don't do this and don't do that, just do it, because he's the one that knows. Usually it's your first time around, so you don't know what your limits are. And while you might feel good, you might put pressure in a place that it doesn't need it. And you can pop something that isn't healed. My primary doctor said that I would make it that it was going to take 2 years to fix me. That's what it was going to take. And, that's okay with me. If it takes 2 years, it takes 2 years. That's just to get me better. In 2 years, I'll be 63. I was at my end game anyway. No matter how you cut it, I was at my end game. If you're 19, 20 years old, and don't think this can't happen to you because you're 19 or 20 years old. Don't ever think that what's happening to me happened to me because I'm old. There's a lot of old people this doesn't happen to. And there's a lot of young people that have heart attacks. And there's a lot of people that don't survive them. 2% of the people that went through what I went through survive. 98% don't. And that's why I say, I'm living proof of how the government works. Yeah, it's real popular to say the government this and the government that, and Wall Street this and Wall Street that. A lot of the medication that I benefit from comes from Wall Street, because they are the companies that use that startup money from Wall Street. They are the companies that use that money for research. Right away, you get going down that road and you get stuck in that lane of hate, and you don't even think about all the good stuff that is happening. And that's one of the things I'm going to keep pressing as I do these shows, is a lot of the good stuff that's happening. Because there's plenty of people out there talking about the bad stuff. I decided that I was going to log my progress, and it has been progress. And I decided that, who helped me. As soon as I got into that Catholic hospital, St. Anthony's, right away it was, thank God you're alive. Thank God, thank Jesus for this. And, and I stop them fast now, and I say, no, I thank my doctors. If my doctors want to thank Jesus for their skill, that's up to the doctor. I ain't saying Jesus ain't there. I ain't saying God ain't there. I'm just saying I know who was there. I got the scars to prove it. I know who was there. Doctors, nurses, people who brought me my food. And that's just the medical community. That's not even talking about all the things Nina does. Well, I left the doctors and the nurses and the people who bring me my food, and I come home. Nina picks up all of their jobs, all of them. She becomes a doctor, a nurse, a cook, a cleaner. She becomes all of that. So, if you've got a partner, you keep that in mind. You keep that in mind. Should something happen to you, that's the one that's going to carry the burden. That's something that you have to keep in mind. And you also have to keep in mind, are you willing to do for someone else what is being done for you? Or are you just going to be someone that says, you know what, hey, I don't have to, it's your problem. I made it through it, you can make it through. Is that the kind of person you're going to be? Or are you just going to do what they did for you? I know I'll do what they did for me. If anything should ever happen to Nina, I won't even have to think about it. I wouldn't even have to think about it. I'd be doing it. And that's one of the reasons that I want to get better and stronger. Because if something should happen to her, she has to depend on me. And if I can't even depend on me, hey, I'm a sorry partner to have. Should she get really sick? And I don't mean just physically, but mentally. I have to be alert. I have to be able to do everything she did for me. I have to be able to do it for her. I have to handle the paperwork. I have to contact all the people that she contacted for me. I have to do it for her. So I have to be mentally as well as physically able to help. I can't just say, well, I'm just waiting for my time to come to an end. No, you don't do that. I don't do that. And if you're young and you think, well, no, I wouldn't want to go through that, well, hey, that's your business. But it's a lot different in thinking what you would do than actually having to do it. You can think about how you'd be if that was you. If that was me, I wouldn't do that. You don't know. You don't know. Because that is one of the life-changing things that happen to people. That's why they call them life-changing. It's life-changing. You'd be surprised how bad you want to live when it is placed in front of you. It's not an opinion. You have to fill out a living will, for example. You have to fill out a living will. Or you should have a living will. Because if not, somebody you don't know is going to make decisions for you. So we have a living will for me. Anything ever happens to me, Nina takes charge. She has legal authority to take charge of me. Plus, in that living will, I stated how far I want them to go. And I want them to go as far as they can, because I'm a firm believer that we never really know for sure when we're dead. I died twice. That's what they said. I died twice. But here I am talking to you now. Did I really die? Or is their technology, it only goes so far that at this point we're considered dead, but we're alive. We're in there. You think just because your heart stops beating and your lungs start beating, your kidneys stop working, your liver stops working, everything quits working, you think you're dead? They think you're dead. But all of my stuff quit working, and I wasn't dead. Did they bring me back to life? Or did I just never leave? I was in there. I was in there. Maybe their machines just couldn't tell that I was in there. They didn't give up on me. That's a good thing. And now I have a living will that says, no, don't give up on me. Keep looking for me. Keep looking for me because I might be in there. But, you get in a bad car accident and half of your head gets ripped off, or you get in a gunfight and half of your head gets blown off. They can keep your heart working, and they can keep your lungs working. But, you're dead. You're dead. Because even if they did get you back and kept your heart and your lungs working, you're never coming back. That's what they used to say. Until they ran across a guy who had half of his brain, or 90% of his brain, I can't remember which, but it was a big part of his brain, got blown off. He was accidentally shot or shot on purpose. I can't remember which. But he wasn't dead. They just thought he was. And then they told his family, well, we can bring him back. We can wake him up, but he's not going to be the person you knew. He's going to be different. He's not going to be able to take care of himself. And I mean by taking care of yourself, your bodily functions and things like that. He's not going to be able to get a job. No, that's what they say. And with all the wonderful things that they did for me and all the wonderful things I know they can do, I say, no, don't let me go that easy. If you can, don't let me go. Because once they let you go and you're in the ground, it's over. And then again, we don't know. I say I didn't see anything. I didn't feel anything. I don't remember anything. That doesn't mean it wasn't there. It just means I didn't see it. I don't remember it. I didn't feel it. That's what it means. It could have been there. It could be there. You just don't know. And once you don't know, then all of a sudden it becomes it ain't. A lot of people do that when they talk about God. Well, what's God done for me? God ain't there. Why does God have the world this way? You don't know. Be a little honest with yourself and say at least you're just an agnostic. You don't know. But to say definitely he isn't there because you don't know, that's showing ignorance. That's all that's doing. That's showing ignorance. You're ignorant. When you say you know for a fact something isn't there, well, how could you know it for a fact if it's not there if you don't know? You've got to know something isn't there for it to be a fact. Yeah, you can have all the theories you want, but you don't know. In the same way that people doesn't know that God is there. They can argue with you day and night. They believe it. But until you can prove it, they don't know. And maybe one day we will prove it, one way or another. Or maybe we'll just get to the point where we're happy with being people. No big mystery. No heavens, no hells. Maybe we'll get to the point where we don't even die. We have to regulate birth to the point because we figured out a way to beat death. And at that point we may have people that quit believing. Quit believing in higher beings and start believing in themselves. Maybe that day will come. I don't know. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy that I made it. I'm just happy they fixed my leg. I'm grateful for Nina. I'm grateful for doctors. I'm grateful for my government. I have a lot to be grateful for. I'm not going to get all crazy about it. I'm not going to start running out trying to save the world because I didn't die. No. I'm just going to do my part as somebody who didn't die, and that is to live my life. They say, well, God put you here for a greater purpose. I don't think so. For two reasons. One, I know people that's been through similar situations, and they didn't set the world on fire. What they were was an example of what could be done. And maybe if they practice on us little people enough, that maybe they can save somebody that really can change the world. I think about it that way. I think about all the stuff they're doing for me, and I joke with Nina saying that they're parting me out. Maybe I had a good heart, and they gave me I had a Cadillac, and then they gave me a Chevy, just a little old Chevy heart, and gave my good heart to somebody who could put it to good use, somebody who had a good brain to go with it. I jokingly say things like that. But sometimes I really do think that, that we're part of science. We're a science experiment. And I can tell you truthfully, they are getting pretty damn good at it. Because when people would get their heart fixed the way I got my heart fixed, as little as 10 years ago, maybe even less, maybe 5 years ago, I don't know exactly. But they would get a mechanical heart or a mechanical replacement, and they had to take medicine just for that the rest of their lives. I don't take anything for my heart other than an aspirin. I don't take anything. I take blood pressure medicine and an aspirin, and now I'm on a blood thinner. I don't take a bunch of stuff for my heart. That's science. That's progress. And again, that's my government. And, like it or not, the stock market. All this stuff takes money. People ain't going to do this for free. And as a little poor person sitting somewhere in a chat room talking about this sort of thing, if you had to pay for this, you'd die. It's your government that does this shit. It's your government that pays them doctors to do what they do. Now, if you're a religious person, you might say, well, God pushes the government to do these wonderful things. I don't care how you rationalize it. It's happening. And I will always, till the day I die, kind of wonder a little bit, why did they save somebody like me? I mean, I'm not going to ever cure cancer. I'm not ever going to invent anything, but you never know what you're going to do because you don't know the future. You don't know what you're going to do. And you'll get somebody who will argue about whether the sun came up or not, or are you just imagining it? There's people that'll do that. And it's up to you whether you want to entertain them, because that's what you're doing. You're entertaining them. Every time you argue with an idiot, you are entertaining them. Because it's not about who's right or wrong or what's right or wrong. It's about entertaining them. And maybe you want to be entertained, so you argue with them. What's right and what's wrong, what is and what isn't. You entertain each other. But, I could tell you, I wonder. I often wonder why people, and I'm not alone. When they fixed my heart, there was a lot of people in that hospital that weren't doctors or lawyers or Indian chiefs. They were people just like me. And some had less than I have. If you're going to go down a sliding scale, had less. I was watching Sons of Anarchy.
It's 10 o'clock.
Been watching it for a couple of weeks now. We're watching all of the old stuff, and it's a pretty good show. If you have Netflix, watch Sons of Anarchy. But two of the main characters, Jimmy Smits and I think it's Katie Segalis or something like that. They both have the scar that I have going right down their chest. Robin Williams had my scar. A lot of people have my scar. They are saving a lot of people the way they saved me. And then Nina and I was in a place called JD's. I think it's JD's or DJ's. Nice little restaurant down around Treasure Island, somewhere down in there, or Reddington Beach. I'm never really sure what all those places are, but now that I'm fixed, maybe I'll remember some of this stuff. But anyway, we were in there in the restaurant, and there's this black family that entertains there. They do like kind of like a karaoke without doing karaoke. They actually play the organ or play the bongos, and they actually sing. They don't have a thing there where you can come and sing. It's not like that. And the mother or the aunt or the cousin or whoever she was part of this family, came in and sat in the table next to us. And I glanced over, and there was the scar. She had the scar. And, you know, it's kind of funny because you automatically have this little relationship. I know what she went through, and she knows what I went through. And if you don't have that scar, you don't know. You don't know. You can imagine. You can have empathy, sympathy. You can have all kinds of stuff, but you don't know. You don't know what it's like to go through this. But she does. So we have a little kinship going there. She's black, I'm a Chicano, and we both got saved. And we aren't rich. We aren't rich. Will we ever be rich? I don't know. I'll tell you one thing I know for certain. I don't know things for certain. I don't know what the future is. You never know what the future is going to be. You've got to live to see what the future is going to be. And by the time you get there, then you're not in the future anymore. You're already working on the past. So, that's today. I managed to kill an hour again. And now I've got some sewing to do because of the computer shutting off because of some of the things I was trying to do. No fault of the computer, no fault of the internet. It was me pushing buttons and stuff and freaking it out. So I've got some sewing to do, and I'm going to put these videos together, and in maybe 20 minutes or so, they'll start being loaded into live stream. So, thanks for visiting. I'm Artstarzz. That's just my opinion. Have a good day.